I have
Appreciate
been
you.
keeping up with your music now. I probably first discovered you around 2020. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
So I kind of just, and then it was cool to see you. I seen you tap in with the West out here.
Hell yeah.
Over these past 5 years, I know you rock hard with Coyote as well. Um,
Right. For sure. Them my boys, man.
I wanted to commend you, G, because Cali, and it might even go around the whole spectrum of Mexican rappers. We get
Right,
put
right,
we
right.
get we get put in a Chicano rap lane. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I started hearing you, I was like, whoa, shit, this fool's he's a spitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While you
On
can
me.
kick your neighborhood shit, like you spit bars like in
Oh,
a lot of shit. So
hell yeah. I
um
appreciate it, bro.
and I
Nah, I
know
mean,
and I've
yeah.
heard and I know I've heard you, mention Nipsey in this latest project and all that type of stuff. So I'm just curious, where does that come from you as far as your lyricism?
Man, like I think with the lyricism comes from like back in the gap. Like I wasn't really raised on like Texas music. I wasn't raised on like even you know what I mean. I was raised on my pop was raising me on like Pac, Pun when it did come to rap, But my dad's from the he's born through the '80s, so the music that he listened to, Earth, Wind and Fire, LTD, you know what I mean, a bunch of oldies. But as far as when I did hear rap, it was all lyricism. And then once I got older, you know what I mean, started doing my own research. I really got into pun real heavy, and then I got into even when I found J. Cole, I remember finding like J. Cole Lights Please on the computer on YouTube, and I'm tripping out. But this is how I knew everybody don't think the same. I trip out. I go next door to my neighbor, my partner Rob. He's one of my lifelong homies, and I'm like, man, you gotta come hear this shit. And like, bro, he don't even like it. Didn't transcend to him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. He was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this shit's crazy. You tripping? This shit's
Yeah.
crazy. So, it kind of just stemmed from that, bro. And I mean, I started rap, bro. I started rapping when I first started rapping. It was my homie Tony Solomon. He's from South Park out here. That's a real big neighborhood out here. Um, Man, he was way better than me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like having somebody better than you already from the jump, and that motherfucker was a monster. You know what I mean? It just his life went a different way. But yeah, bro, it was just always. I mean, that's always been hip hop to me. You know what I mean? I know things change and the culture changes. And I ain't mad at it, but also I always wanted to push the issue. Like I'm not a Latino rapper. You know what I mean? I'm a rapper that happens to be Latino. You know what I'm
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
saying?
Couldn't have put it better right there. You know what I mean? Real spill.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
like I said, man, we got a lot of dope gente that can get down, but for whatever reason, just because the way it works, like we get put in this rabbit hole of Chicano rappers. You know what I mean? But that's why, like I said, your voice, your delivery, your cadence, your bars, they all stood out to me heavy, bro. Just like you said, the mere fact that you can talk about Cole that way lets me
Yeah,
know
yeah.
your mindset is in another realm. So that's
Oh,
super dope.
I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, man. Like, I appreciate that for sure, bro. We try to push that issue, that, it's all, and then it's just hip hop is colorless. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
always tell
yeah.
people that.
I'm curious too, because the times I've been out to South by Southwest,
Yeah,
I see a different togetherness with Black and Brown in
right.
Texas than I do here in California. There definitely is a divide. I mean, even furthermore with Mexicans, how we got the Northerners and the Southerners. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Whatever.
right.
So how is the culture, Black and Brown in Texas right there?
Man, it's bro, it's way, what I mean, it was definitely together, bro. Like I said, like the dude I just mentioned, that was a black dude came up rapping with one of my best homeboys are black. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we go to school together, we play ball together. Like there's no real divide. Like, the only divide probably in Houston is like North Side and South Side at one point. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, but all Mexican and blacks. I mean, of course, when you get if you go inside, of course you ride with your people. That's always that's on GP. But as far as out here, like we click together more than what I mean against everybody else. So we stand together real heavy out here. You know what I'm saying? Like I think if anything, like it's like everywhere, you know what I mean? They always say like a Mexican's biggest hater is another Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And
Right?
it's sad because like I'm gonna drop a tape. It's called like Brown Magic, but it's just like stop like the person who looks like you the most. You need to say what's up to him. You know what I mean? And but also yeah, like it ain't really. I mean, our culture is so intertwined. Like if you go listen to interviews of Slim Thug or Bun B or uh any of these big black artists from our Lil Flip, their main fan base is Mexicans from Texas. They zero, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to he all his fans are Mexican. You know what I mean? More they say that like they're the reason why we make a living. So uh, it's definitely like our culture been like that for decades. You know what I'm saying? It's not like when people we come out and the way we talk or the way we dress and people oh they trying to act like nah we just acting like Texas like this ain't. And I did see that when I went to California. I remember one time like seeing the divide was so crazy for me, and I was like, dog, it's like really segregated out here like that. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in the older generation, like it was an old school cat, like an OG Mexican cat. And I was like, damn, this really on some, you know what I mean? Racism shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I ain't
no,
really
no,
with
yeah,
it.
it's the politics out here is funny, and it unfortunately it carries over into the music. This dude can't rock with this dude from that neighborhood or whatever, blase, blase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell
you
yeah.
know, why can't it just be about hip hop? Why can't it just be about this love of shit? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. I agree with that 100%. But y'all, yeah, y'all politics is wow. I mean, y'all rich in gang culture. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
gang culture
unfortunately.
ain't really that heavy. I mean, it's gangs, you feel me? But it's more like hoods out there, you know what I mean? Actual full neighborhoods. And that's why you get like the black and brown people. That's why you get the black and brown people rocking together. You know what I mean? They might be from the same neighborhood, so they getting down. You know what I mean?
All right, word. I could dig it. And the thing that's even cooler about that is I know this ain't no bullshit because you rap about this in your joints. You know what I mean?
Right.
The
Yeah, for
the the
sure.
collaborations and just love and the struggle for black and brown together. You know what I mean? So I know
Ye-
that's
For
that's
sure,
really what
bro.
you're about. So that's what I say, man. Everything about you's different, homie, and I dig it 100%. You know. And again, I'm a Cali boy. I got that shit tatted on my arm, so it's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is refreshing. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because
Hell yeah, I
I
appreciate
know
that,
we
bro.
got this in us. We got this in us. It's just you know what I mean? Like I said, there just be this lane we get stuck in. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um,
bro. Yeah, now it is. I mean, we're a part of this shit too. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. We're a part of it, and we've been like number one supporters for this hip hop shit for a while, and I think we're the number one consumer. You know what I mean? So I think that it is time that we've been a part of this for a long time. My pop was jamming NWA when he picked up my mama on their first date. In a tape cassette. Type shit. So it's like we've been a part of this, man. This whole culture. And I love my black brothers and sisters, man. It's just this is hip hop. You feel what I'm saying?